y'all, it's Katie and welcome back to my channel. Today I've got 5 tips for you so you can dial in your race a little bit so you can get more competitive in Deka. So if you've done several Deka events now and you really enjoy it, you want to get a little bit more competitive, maybe even qualify for world champs, I got you. Tip number 1 is run sims. A sim is short for simulation. This is just practicing the full event and how it would be on race day. So this is where you line up all the Deka zones back to back if you're doing a strong, if you're doing the smile or fit, have a little running course, and you simulate what it will be like on race day. So I recommend doing this every other week. It doesn't have to be the same race. It doesn't have to always be the Deka strong or always be the mile, but it probably should be something reflecting a race coming up. So if the next race on your calendar is a Deka strong, it might be wise to start prepping for that Deka strong and doing that every other week leading up to the race. It helps you get used to that nitty-gritty feeling of the race. It also helps you learn to pace things out better. This helps you assess your strengths, your weaknesses, where you need to hold back and conserve, and where you need to push and go for it. So they help you learn so much about yourself as an athlete. It helps you learn about the race and how you can best perform that race on race day. And while you're running those sims, tip number 2 is take your race splits. So on your stopwatch, when you're doing a race, go ahead and hit that lap button, which will be taking your splits and taking that individual time. So after you complete a zone or after you complete a run, hit that lap button or have a friend time you and do that for you so you can know exactly how long it takes you in each zone and on each run. And this is where, as you accumulate those stats and do more sims over time and more races over time, you'll be able to see trends and see patterns and be able to fine-tune things more. Which leads us into tip number 3, building a plan. So based on your time and your splits, you can start to see trends over time that will help you build your race plan. So for an example, I can do the farmer carry pretty quick. So if I run with the dumbbells all 100 meters, it's only about 5 seconds faster than if I only run for 80 meters. So I gain 5 seconds, but I also spike my heart rate quite a lot. The farmer leads into the bike. And if I start the bike already with my heart rate high, then I gain about 15 to 20 seconds on the bike. So that exchange is not worth it. So for me, if I hold back on the farmer carry, it adds about 5 seconds, but it saves me 15 to 20 seconds on the bike. So my net overall time is lower if I am a little bit slower on the farmer carry. And the only reason I learned that was from tracking my race stats and being able to track those splits over time and seeing those trends in what my farmer looked like versus what my bike looked like. So learning where you need to hold back and conserve heart rate a little bit versus where you need to push and race, this really comes in handy. And especially in that front half, you typically want to hold back a little bit more in the front 6 versus the back 4. So pay attention to your stats for a while and run a few different races. One where you hold back on the front 6 and then race the back 4, and then one where you keep a little bit more steady throughout. And I think you might surprise yourself. Sometimes when you pace the front 6, you have a little bit more steam in the engine to get through the back 4, so your overall time is typically faster in that case. Every racer is different, but go ahead and try that and see what you think. Let me know in the comments. And on to tip number 4, race at away events. So it's really fun and easy to race at your own Deka affiliate, but it doesn't always prepare you for the away experience. So you want to go to gyms that are unfamiliar, where you might not know people. And maybe you don't go by yourself, maybe you go with a teammate or a couple friends, go with your buddies, but try to get used to going to more away events, because when you step into an arena like Deka Fit or Deka World Championships, it's going to be a much bigger environment, more people, and you might feel more pressure on yourself. So if you can already have several away events under your belt, when you go into situations like that, you're going to be a little bit more accustomed to those nerves and be able to control those a little bit more getting on the start line. So especially for your first few away events or your first Deka Fit, right before your race, do some breathing exercises, get your heart rate back under control, especially if you have those nerves. Even remove yourself from the facility. If you need to leave for a minute and take a breath, that's totally fine. But having that calmer state of mind and calmer heart rate and breathing is going to help you so much when you get started on the race. I know I had terrible race nerves at first, my very first season, and even growing up in athletics, when I was in figure skating, I had terrible nerves before a competition, and that really messed with my head and it messed with my outcomes as well. So if you can really mitigate some of that by keeping that heart rate down and by keeping your brain and your mindset positive throughout the experience, it's way better, trust me. And number 5, this one is super important. It's to learn how to do hard things. And that may sound easy, but this is really what separates the amazing athletes from the average athletes in Deka. The people who learn how to keep moving and keep running and keep pushing even when their tank is on empty and their legs feel like lead, those people are going to be the ones who end up on top. Because these events just take that level of resilience and that level of determination and grit to get through. Because once you move from average into the competitive age group events or the elite field, it really, really gets more tough and down to the nitty-gritty. And this is honestly a really hard thing to do. These races demand a lot of us physically and mentally. By the end of the race, mentally, you're probably questioning your life decisions and like, why did I sign up for this? And why am I doing this again? But it's those people who keep pushing and who tell themselves, you know, we're doing this for a reason. And if you have a strong mental game and a strong physical grit and ability to push through those moments, that's what's gonna separate you from the pack. So you definitely don't want to do this every day in training, maybe once a week, maybe during those sims on the weekends, whatever that looks like for you, but you want to go to that place in your training. You don't want to just save that for race day. You need to be able to go to that hard place and go to the pain cave in your training at least once in a while so that you can start to learn that grit and determination yourself. It's important to practice that so when you get to the end of a race, you can still be pushing and you can still execute really well. So those are my 5 tips for you today. I've also got 3 resources that can help you level up your next race day. First off is my freebie, the Ultimate Race Day Packing List, which will make sure you never forget a race essential again. Second up is my ebook, Race Day Ready, where I dive into tracking data, race strategy, and how to plan your race day. And third, if you're ready to level up your training, my program Hybrid Strength will help you get ready for your next race or adventure. So down in the comments, let me know which tip helped you the most today, and let me know what your goals are this season. Is your goal to lower your time a bunch, or is your goal to qualify for world champs, get your trifecta? What is that for you? Let me know. But other than that, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!